What's up guys, welcome back to the channel and welcome to episode 4 of Let's Talk Wrestling. It's also day 11 of my daily December uploads, in which I'm uploading every day, obviously, to try and inch closer to 300 subscribers. So if you're interested in helping me out there, do go subscribe, turn the post notifications on to be updated and notified for every of the next 20 days minimum. Past that we don't know, but yeah, I'm gonna hop into this one. It's not time for talk, it's time to talk wrestling, more specifically Brock Lesnar. Brock Lesnar's been a hot topic in wrestling for the last year and a half, but he's been missing, which isn't rare. You know, it's quite common for Brock Lesnar to not be an ever-present thing in WWE, so to speak. You know, he's always in and around there, but he does go missing for large periods of time. So it's not weird that we're seeing that. But this time's been a bit longer than usual. You know, usually his schedule, you know, will work the Royal Rumble, Elimination Chamber maybe, through to the WrestleMania for his Mania feud. We'll see him on SummerSlam most likely, because it's the second biggest show of the year, and a Saudi show or two for his big payday. And that's it. And then it'll repeat and repeat and repeat. For how many years, we don't know. But it's been put to an end. Not through his own volition. You know, we don't know when he would have retired. He's 47 now, so probably getting there, but he might have been forced into a quiet retirement here. Obviously, we saw him back at WrestleMania 39. He defeated Omos, which was a weird choice, I thought. The next night, he turns on Cody, I think just to bring him back to a heel, and then it's that feud with Cody to build him up for finishing the story the next year after his story did not finish at WrestleMania 39 against Roman Reigns. So yeah, Lesnar turned on him. Cody then beat him at Backlash. I think Lesnar beat him in Saudi, and then Cody got the win over Brock at SummerSlam, when I think that was when Brock ripped his shorts, which was a weird image, and they got that handshake and the embrace, which isn't very normal for Brock. It was not something we've ever really seen before, you know. You're thinking, could this be a shoot or something like that? Which I think is what Cody actually said about it before. You know, that's one of the things with Brock. You just don't know about him. Very out of character. And that was the way he ended his WWE career, as it stands, with that feud with Cody. Because of another man, a Vincent Kennedy McMahon, who's obviously, he's now gone from WWE too because of the allegations that have flooded around him. If you're not aware of all of them, I'm sure you are, but if you're not, I did post, that was actually the inaugural episode of this series, Let's Talk Wrestling, talking about the Mr. McMahon documentary on Netflix, and also just the situation itself. So yeah, if you want a quick run through of that, go watch that. But yeah, Brock Lesnar was the former WWE champion that was named in the court documents to have basically been a part of Vince McMahon's sex trafficking ring. I don't know, it's only really Brock mentioned, but I guess there's like Johnny Ace, John Laurinaitis is mentioned as well. And I'm sure there's quite a lot more that we don't know. But yeah, Brock Lesnar is definitely mentioned, and that is the reason he's gone from WWE. We found that out around this time last year, maybe a bit later, a few weeks before the Royal Rumble, when you're expecting Brock to return and maybe face Gunther at WrestleMania. That didn't happen because he got sent home to Canada. Since then, in the press, we've seen Triple H dealing with Brock Lesnar questions, just saying Brock's being Brock. You know, when he's not in here, he's out in Canada just farming. But that's not really what it is. It's not of his own volition, as I've said. Brock has pretty much, literally and figuratively, been put on gardening leave by TKO. I would assume. I mean, WWE will definitely probably echo that to try and stay away from the bad press, as they would. But definitely TKO have dealt with this a lot stronger. They got Vince straight out. They've got Brock straight out because they don't want to face the backlash from that. And you can't blame them, obviously. But since then, the problem is with it is, since then, we've seen a flood of like support for Brock Lesnar for really weird reasons. I don't understand it. I feel like there's been more of a desire to see Brock Lesnar on our screens since he got mentioned in like a federal court case for sexual trafficking and, you know, all stuff of that nature than before, which I don't understand. Why do more people want him? I know he's been gone for a longer amount of time, but why do you want him back? It's a weird one. But that seems to happen in quite a lot of places, and people just ignore that fact. And even if he could come back, well, he couldn't. He's literally a part of an ongoing federal case. He can't come back, even if WWE wanted to allow them. TKO wanted to allow him. He probably couldn't come back, and that's the truth of it. He isn't coming back anytime soon. He probably won't ever come back because he probably did everything that was named in the court documents about him. To be honest, you know, if he is cleared of all that stuff, then I'm sure he would probably come back. Maybe. I mean, I say I'm sure, and then I say probably and maybe. Definitely maybe. I don't know. I doubt he comes back at this stage or anytime soon. Just like Vince will never come back. And that's an assumption, yeah, but he won't. There's many reasons for that. Obviously, the main ones being the allegations surrounding him and stuff like that. But one of the main reasons why I think we don't need Brock Lesnar, WWE does not need Brock Lesnar, is Braun Breaker. WWE has its Brock Lesnar replacement in Braun Breaker already. We saw that. They trusted him last year at the Royal Rumble to step into the Brock Lesnar spot. And since then, he has delivered tremendously. He's now the Intercontinental Champion, and he will be the Intercontinental Champion as Raw moves to Netflix, which is huge. Obviously, Netflix are trusting Braun Breaker. They want Braun Breaker on their show, which is a massive endorsement for him because, you know, he pulls ratings. I mean, he's not as a worldly known name like Brock Lesnar might be, but he's an incredible athletic talent, and he's someone that people will take notice of and already have. But, you know, he's got the family history. He's got charisma. He's pretty funny. He's incredibly athletic. You know, the speed he can run the ropes at. His spear is the best spear I think I've ever seen. Some of his in-ring work, he can do a Frankensteiner, for God's sake. I mean, look at him. He is a beast. He's going to be a future world champion, undoubtedly. I think he will win the world championship next year. I think he holds the IC title through to Mania. At the very least, I think he'll drop it at Mania. Maybe to Sheamus, I don't know. And that's also where I think John Cena will win the World Heavyweight title. If you want to know more about that, I have done a John Cena farewell tour fantasy booking video. That's part 1, which covers up to WrestleMania. If you want to see WrestleMania to SummerSlam, that will be coming out soon, and SummerSlam to the end of the year will be coming out after that, where I probably will be mentioning some of this about Braun Breaker, because I do think Cena will win it there. Cena will win it, yeah, at WrestleMania from Gunther. Breaker will drop the title, maybe to Sheamus, maybe to someone else. Chad Gable is who I would like to see. Maybe the Wyatt Six, Uncle Howdy, Karrion Kross even. Who knows? Could be anyone. Ludwig Kaiser? Probably not. He's probably going to go to SmackDown with Gunther. Ilya Dragunov? I don't know. But yeah. I think from there, I would personally think about having Braun Breaker dethrone John Cena as the World Heavyweight Champion, because someone needs to. He's not going to vacate the title at the end of 2025, although I would like to see John Cena not lose very much throughout his farewell tour, like a lot of people would. I think some people want to see him go old Super Cena mode and just bury people. I don't think he will entirely. And I think he should give his title up to a younger star. And I think that should be Braun Breaker, because he's ready for it. And he can really get a boost from that. And speaking of people who can do the boost, you know, let's move on to the second worst thing that Brock Lesnar has ever done, and the reason why I am very happy, well, again, the second biggest reason why I'm very happy that Vincent Kennedy McMahon and Brock Lesnar are both gone from WWE is The Undertaker and their breaking of the streak. You evil, evil bastards. If that wasn't the first sign that there's something wrong with the two of them, mainly Vince, but you know, Brock went through with it. The sick. I won't say that, but he went through with it and he beat The Undertaker at WrestleMania. He ended his streak and really just killed the last like 5 years of his career because none of it really mattered after that. You know, he beat Bray Wyatt at WrestleMania, which was pointless. If the streak was gonna be broken, I think it should have been by Bray Wyatt or someone of that ilk that would actually get a big boost from it and it would make a difference. Brock Lesnar didn't need that. I know he beat John Cena at SummerSlam and suplexed him 16 times, but he could have done that anyway. You could have had Undertaker beat him at WrestleMania, and then now Brock needs a big win. Have him batter John Cena. It doesn't make Cena any less credible. Look at the size of Brock Lesnar. He's a human gorilla. It doesn't matter. I'm not biased at all, so don't comment that. I don't care, to be honest. He shouldn't have broke the streak, and that's my opinion. I think that's most people's opinion. There was no point in it. You know, that was Vince's opinion up until about 3 o'clock that afternoon, which was like the last thing The Undertaker remembers, is the finish being switched. Terrible decision. The worst booking decision of all time, may I add. On to another terrible Vince booking decision, because, you know, let's just bring both of them down even more if we can. Goldberg. Resident old dinosaur. Well, we got Vince for that as well, but just another guy that is not needed at all. Don't come back, other than being destroyed by Gunther. That'd be quite funny. But yeah, one of the worst things Brock did, and one of the things that tarnishes his legacy, I think, is him leaving WWE the first time. I know he went on to win titles in the UFC in legitimate fighting, which is fair enough, you know, that'll help, but I think he got done for performance enhancers and stuff like that. So did it really? And that was one of the reasons why I think, bold claim, Bron Breakker will surpass Brock Lesnar's legacy. And I think he will, because he'll stay with WWE for longer, I think. He'll be a future world champion, future multi-time world champion, probably a Grand Slam champion. Definitely. He'll win the IC, he's won the IC title, he'll win the world title, he'll win the US title, he'll get a tag team reign, just because. You know, he could have done that with Corbin on the main roster, but they got rid of Corbin, which is annoying. But yeah, I think he'll surpass Brock Lesnar, because Brock Lesnar really didn't do much, you know, in his time, I would say. And obviously he's a multi-time world champion, but some of the things he did really tarnish his legacy. None as much as, you know, the sex trafficking. That's quite bad, isn't it? But he had like a 500-day reign where he barely held the title, barely defended the title after he won it from Goldberg at WrestleMania 33. Good match. Much better match than at Mania 20, or 22, 21, 19, whatever it was, when everyone knew both of them were leaving and they got booed out of the building in the main event. Yeah, so it was better than that. It was what it should have been, a squash match, and it was much better. But he then went on to hold the belt for 500 days, which they took off of Kevin Owens for no apparent reason, when Kevin Owens versus Chris Jericho was one of the hotter feuds of that Mania going into it, wasn't it? And while we're on it, WrestleMania 33, Luke Harper should have been with Randy and Bray as well. That probably should have main evented. Well, that didn't even main event either. Undertaker versus Rowan main evented, and that was horrific. Terrible. You made Undertaker lose again, Vince. Twat. But yeah, this is just growing into a bit of a slander session for both of them, which, you know, is definitely deserved. Clearly, you know, if you read the court documents, it's more than deserved. They should probably both rot in hell, in all honesty. But yeah, I think I'm going to stop rambling. There's Farmer Brock up there, which people actually enjoyed, because it was Brock being himself, but clearly he wasn't being himself, because there was more things to know about Brock Lesnar, which I think we always knew. There was more behind Brock Lesnar than meets the eye, and, you know, it's not very pleasant what meets the eye, especially his teeth. They're weird. But yeah, I'm going to stop slagging the guy off in case he sees this and batters me. But yeah, I hope you've enjoyed. I have. I feel like I've definitely had to get this off my chest for some reason, especially the bit about the streak. But yeah, I hope you've enjoyed. Let me know your thoughts down in the comment section below, as well as any other topics you'd like to see me cover in this series, or any other videos you'd like to see in general. I will definitely do them in the next 20 days, like I've said. So yeah, please do like the video if you enjoyed, and subscribe if you'd like to help me get to 300 subscribers, like I've already said. And yeah, that's about it from me. See you next time, tomorrow. Goodbye.